At this time, I'll call the Dickson County Commission meeting to order for the regular meeting of February 20th, 2025. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Rolfson had some other commitments today, and so it'll be Commissioner Roller and myself for this particular meeting. The first item we have, or next item, is the approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
We have the motion to approve the agenda, and I'll second it. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the February 13th meeting, also minutes of the February 14th canvass, the accounts payable of $1,863,242.32, and checks of $3,783.93, a security wire of $4,674, a utility that's also by wire, $10,619.65, credit cards, wire, $18,977.47. There was a special check of $6,010, and also the abated tax amount is $612.30. And I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
And I'll second it.
We have the motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Commission comments, Ron?
Well, it's hard not to take the time to, again, thank our county folks for all they do for us. And again, with this cold weather we've had, it's made it awful difficult. But again, we want to thank them and kind of look after them a little bit. That's all I have.
Okay. I did have a meeting that I attended to on Monday, and that was for Central Kansas Mental Health. Also earlier this morning, we had a discussion and a request in regards to some of the opioid money. And there's a group of people that are working on a program for housing for women that are in need, and so that would qualify for some of that money. And so we're going to look at our budget and kind of see how we could participate and at what level. And this is something that's going to be in the process and being worked on here really over quite a few months. But anyway, Cindy Whittington and Kat McKee were here for that. Also, we had Martin Tannehill here earlier, and he gave us an update on the road and bridge, but also some of the environmental services and inspections that are taking place. And so we have a lot of good things there. You think of the road and bridge, I mean, they hardly catch their breath. I mean, they've just kind of gotten through this snowstorm and all the equipment, and now they need to start thinking about other things on the roads and the sanding and uses of different equipment in preparation for that. And Kansas weather changes, and so it looks like we have some promising weather ahead next week and warmer temperatures, and so road and bridge will continue to be very, very busy. Is there anything else to be brought up under commission comments? We're going to go ahead and move on. We do not have any proclamations. Ron, did you have something to add?
I didn't. No, I was saying I didn't have anything. Thanks.
So this would be the portion for public comments and for anything that is not on the agenda. And Janelle, if you'll go ahead and read the rules regarding public comments.
Yes, for the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During their regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address. I agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc.
Okay, is there anyone online that would want to speak? And you can signal if you do want to make a comment or had something to bring up.
Don't see any.
And also, anyone here too in the room can make a comment if you so choose.
Nobody has their hand raised.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on. The next item we have is the report of county officers. Janelle?
Commissioners, we do have several open positions in the health department. We thought we'd fill the RN position, and unfortunately, the person has had a family matter come up and they have declined the offer. So that RN position is open in the health department. We have an open dispatch position, deputy register of deeds position, 2 deputy positions in the sheriff's office, and a spray operator position at environmental services. And I believe Martin last week had talked about we will have a couple open road and bridge positions open next month. So the highway department is back to their regular schedule. They had worked 2 shifts, 12-hour shifts during the storm to clear the roads. And like Ron said, and Lynn has said in the past, we appreciate the hard work that they have done. IT is working on updates to our servers, and that is going well. And emergency manager is working on the public assistance meeting that we can submit reimbursement requests to FEMA for the snowstorm for the work. So he's working with our agencies in the county to gather that information, take some time on that. And the assistant county administrator finance director is working with our auditors. They are here currently and going through the annual audit process. So that's all I would have unless you have any questions for me.
Okay. Our county counselor, Doug.
Been working with the recovery team to Junction City, and we do that on Tuesday afternoons, and then the Dickinson County here on Wednesday afternoons, and it's going well. There's a lot of good people working hard to make this be successful, and so I'm proud to be part of that team that works with them. And that's what I had up this week. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Under notices and communications, about the only thing we had was from the Kansas Historical Society. And it's just a notification that there is a farmstead, the Prey Farmstead, and it's on 178 Hawk Road, Hope, Dickinson County. And they are having a review to approve the nomination of that farmstead to the Register of Historic Places. And so it's just notification. They send this not only to Dickinson County, but also the Dickinson County Historical Society, the Hope City Council, Bobby Prey, who would be an interested party, and then also Megan Brewy of Henley Associates. And so anyway, that is the notification that we have received if we want to be there when that happens or submit any information or questions we have. So it's always kind of a good news type thing when someone has a property that they're renovating and restoring, but also maintaining the historic integrity of that property with that restoration. So that's all I have. Ron, did you have any notices or communications otherwise?
No, I didn't have any notices, but I want to share something though. Being this is February the 20th in 1857, some guy by the name of Daniel, can't think of his last name, but it might have been Dickinson,
Morning, man.
kind of helped form Dickinson County. So I'm the senator out of New York.
Mhm.
So it's a kind of important time history that Dickinson County celebrated. So
And most of the counties in Kansas would take on the name to many times honor certain individuals or events. And, you know, some are a little bit more obvious. You have like Lincoln County, which obviously is the time of President Lincoln, and Grant County out there where Ulysses is. So, but yes, well,
Yeah.
thank you for that information. So you can be our designated historian for.
I feel old enough to be one. No, thank you.
There's a few tempting comments. But,
Yeah.
so moving on. Well, thank you for that information.
Yeah.
We do not have any resolutions. There's nothing under unfinished business. We'll go to other business. And when we approve the consent agenda or approve the minutes of the canvas, that was in regards to certify the totals for the special question election. So Jennifer, do you want to kind of give us a summary of what took place, and we can go ahead and certify those after that?
The election, which was held February 4th, 2025, for the special question election for the Abilene sales tax. It did pass. We had the canvass last week. We had 7 provisionals. So the final totals were 426 yes, 319 no.
Okay.
And that's what your canvass is for today.
And for the benefit of the public, what makes something a provisional ballot, for example, 1 or 2 examples?
Oh, just for example, like this election was only for the city of Abilene. If you chose to vote anyways, but you did not live in the city of Abilene, you will be a provisional.
So then the provisional ballot is set aside for review to see if it's a qualifying ballot, and then if it is, it can be added to the total or set aside.
Or not having valid ID, or your address is changed, or several things.
And if someone shows up without their ID,
They have a chance to bring it to us
they could bring it to you
before the canvass starts.
before the canvass, so not even election day,
Nope,
the
they have
day
to have
after.
until canvass. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So we did meet for that special meeting. I would go ahead and move that we certify the totals for that special election and the totals after the canvass provisionals have been added in.
I'll second it.
So we have the motion and the second for certification. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item is to consider the bids for steel on a bridge, and this is at 2980 Barn Road. And Janelle, if you'll go ahead and review that information for us.
Sure, this is the next bridge that the highway department will be replacing, as you said, at 2980 Barn Road. And we requested bids for structural steel, and that's going to be the I-beams, the angle iron, the H pilings, and in various sizes. We received 3 bids, one from Odin Enterprises, Inc. at $24,070.05. The next one from Husker Steel at $23,985 even, and Wellborn Sales at $25,139.12. So staff is recommending you approve the bid from Husker Steel at the $23,985. And this is just the structural steel. We'll have another quote for the decking and the sheeting.
I'll make a motion to accept Husker Steel bid for $23,985.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? So we have the motion for Husker Steel, which was the low bid of $23,985. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And then the second piece of this is for the decking.
For the decking and the sheeting, and we're looking at aluminum decking, 24 inches wide by 24 foot long and 12 gauge 10 foot for the push sheeting. And there's only one source on that, and that's from Wellborn Sales, and that bid was $20,885.50.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move that we accept the bid from Wellborn Sales, $20,885.50. And this is for the decking / sheeting and for the 2980 Barn Road project.
I'll second that.
We have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The next item we have is in regards to the annual management plan. And this is kind of a housekeeping item. And as it says, it's an annual management plan. Janelle, do you have anything to add to that or any particulars?
I would just touch on the fact that, like you said, this is annual. We have to include the budget, the staff, the equipment that's used, and identify the noxious weed species that we are aware of in our county. It also identifies that the Kansas Department of Ag will provide us an estimated area of square miles that we are supposed to review and prioritize the education and the efforts to decrease or to handle the noxious weed. And that's 15 square miles. And so we want to reduce it by 7.5% over the years. So this is, like you said, a housekeeping matter, and we just ask that you approve the annual maintenance plan.
I'll make a motion. So
Okay, we have the motion. I will give the second that we do the approval for the annual management plan and noxious weed eradication report for Dixon County. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And we'll get our signatures on there. The next item we have is for the refuge collector's license.
Commissioners, there's a variety of commercial refuse collectors in the county, and this is the annual licenses that we require them to fill out and return to us. And what it does is list the equipment that or the trucks that they're using to bring in trash to the transfer station. So, and I think there's 10 total in there. So we would just approve the
And this calls for the signature of the county administrator on behalf of the commission and the county.
mhm.
And so I would go ahead and move that we go ahead and sign this as approved and have Janelle do it on behalf of the county and commission.
I'll second that.
We have the motion and the second. Any discussion or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The next item we have is to consider the proposal for microsurfacing, and this is on Fair Road.
Commissioners, Martin had spoken with you about this last week in the study session, and we have a proposal from Vance Brothers to provide a microsurfacing product on Fair Road north of Old 42 to 14th. And this is about 1.72 miles. This is a product that Vance Brothers has made. And if you recall in the past, we have done now the name is going to just blow out of my head.
But we did have a similar type project and material that was used
Yes, but this is
there on Fair Road.
on Fair Road, but this is to help us hopefully keep the road 6 or 7 years longer before we have to get into and pave it. So this is kind of an in-between chip sealing and overlaying. Hopefully this product will allow us to extend the life of that road before we have to spend more money on it. So we're proposing that, or we're requesting that you approve this bid from Vance Brothers at $60,000 a mile, and just shy of 2 miles is what we're estimating. The good thing about this is we've looked at the product down in Marion County there by Tampa. There's a road that they have done. And then also Saline County City of Salina has just also used this product and have very high hopes for that. So we're requesting you approve this contract, and then we can get on their schedule and get in here and get it taken care of as soon as possible.
I'll make a motion to accept Vance Brothers' contract for micro surfacing on Fair Road.
And I'll do the second on that. On comment, I might just mention, along with what Janelle had said, that's something that Martin has looked at some of those roads. It's a very quick application in that they can do it in just a day or two. So it doesn't disrupt traffic. But, they take into considerations that it's a process that has been developed, and the vehicles can have traction, the trucks can have traction. The same thing is if the road is wet, you don't have the skidding. I mean, there's more to it than just putting any type of random surface on the road. But the other thing is the expense of it, as far as the value, it's really quite a bargain because it does extend the life of the road. And there's always people out there trying to develop new products and applications, and we can kind of do this on one small portion and kind of see how it works, and so it's really a pretty good deal.
It's mastic seal that we did on Fair Road before, so this is just a little bit thicker application. I knew it'd come to me.
Okay, so we had the motion and the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We do have, I will mention, and I should have maybe earlier in the report, Martin, when he was in here earlier with Road and Bridge, there's going to be some striping that's going to be taking place across the county in the spring. And he did get a couple of bids on that. This is it's something just kind of to check to make sure we're getting a good deal. And the company that has done it before will do it again. And their price actually was quite a bit lower than the other person. And this is something that is used from the Road and Bridge sales tax. And so it's a safety item, but that's something that we'll be doing for 90 miles of road.
90 miles of road is what we annually estimate that we're going to do.
Okay. Anything else? There is a planning board and zoning training meeting that will take place March 20th, 2025. This will be at the courthouse basement at 7 p.m. And so anyone that's board members can attend, or others, if you want to learn more about planning and zoning, it'd be a great opportunity. And sometimes we have openings on that board too. So if someone's interested in applying, it's good to have their name on file. I would move that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and second to adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.